Alex Boyle, like this is the fella that went to Newry High School, like, you know what I mean? It's like so weird to see this lad going out of his comfort zone and putting it out there. I remember, like, you see, being in school, you were getting bullied and stuff like that there. That was another main reason why I knew I wanted to do it. I wanted to stick out, I wanted to be someone different.
Damn, guess who's back? Alex Boyle here with the car too fast. Here's go check my rags, my GoPro don't need no mask. Best to see, that's facts. Alex on top, so you know that's facts.
And I guarantee it's going to be 10 times better than your song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's the mentality that you have to have. A pioneer in his field, Alex has recorded 3 albums at just the age of 18. Join me as I learn the ins and outs of Ireland's fastest growing genre of music on this latest edition of The Scene. Alright, so Alex, rap music. It's not something that would be synonymous in, you know, Irish culture and Newry, different things. Yeah, where did that all come about? Your love for rap, and then you deciding to get into being a rap artist yourself.
Well, it was just, you know, listening to other rappers and stuff like that there. Initially, it was like I really liked rock music and stuff like that there initially, like, and then I fell in love for rap when there was this like SoundCloud era of like rappers from America, and when I was like in school, that's what like was popular back then, you know what I mean? So when people were listening to it, I found my own artists that I liked, such as Travis Scott and, you know, Playboi Carti. They're all very new. I was never a big fan of like Tupac and Biggie Small and stuff like that there. So the newer rap, I was what I liked, you know what I mean? People were liking Tupac.
Okay,
and Biggie
well,
Smalls.
funny enough, like the stuff you mentioned about Tupac and all that, when I was growing up, and anybody that listened to that stuff, it was weird. Like, it was just like, we were sort of like, you know, it was near enough like, you're not cool enough to listen to rap.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was like,
yeah.
Rap was such a niche thing, and anybody that listened to it, we would look at them going, you're not cool enough to listen to rap. What are you doing? You know, whereas now it's everybody listens. That's the thing now. It's the main genre of music, isn't it?
Oh, there's so many genres of rap in itself. There's like wee subgenres. You got the drill music. You got, you know, there's even country rap now. Like, you know, people rapping over country beats.
Is there really?
Yeah,
Right.
It's nuts. And, you know, you've got hyper pop, you got pop rap, you got rock rap, you know what I mean? There's all these different types of subgenres. So whatever you like, there is a rap song to it, you know what I mean?
When it came to Britain they created all their own genres in London, garage and all sorts of different variations of hip hop and rap came about, didn't it really?
Yeah.
And then it's sort of made its way over to here, hasn't it?
Oh, it has, yeah. Well, like it's sort of Irish rap is like UK rap now, like what the Irish are doing, you know, especially if you see even me being down south, you see all these artists, you know, doing their rap music and all that there, and it's drill, but it's like a copy and paste of British rap, you know what I mean? So like the likes of, you know, even I've seen Irish artists rapping in British accents, I've seen Irish artists rapping in American accents and stuff like that there, and then they get frowned upon in the scene for not using their own accent. Using the own accent is vital.
Yeah, well, funny enough, an act who's got very big in the last 4 or 5 years is Kneecap.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of Irish traditional, you know, they speak an Irish language a lot of the time, and that's part of the reason why it took off, potentially, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. No, Kneecap is like, they're really well built in terms of like how they put a song together. If you know, Kneecap, they would have their own niche. It's all about having your own niche. There's another artist or 2 artists from Dublin, Versatile. They're very good. They're very big as well because they have their own accent. If a rapper in Ireland doesn't rap in their own accent, nobody wants to hear them because there's
well,
a
it's
copy
not
and paste.
it's not authentic then.
Yeah.
That's the problem, isn't it?
I know, but I remember when I started, it was always like, oh, you're not rapping in your own accent. Like, you know, we can't really listen to that. You know, anytime I sent it to labels and stuff like that there, it's like, yeah, we have this. We have an Alex Boyle in America. Like, you know what I mean? We don't want you. We need an Alex Boyle in Ireland.
Well, they want authenticity, don't they? And the audiences see authenticity very, very quickly. And if somebody's trying to be something they're not, they spot it straight away, don't they?
Yeah. It's you have to be your own artist. Having an Irish accent when you're rapping, it's like, oh, we haven't heard
And it
this
sounds
before.
different, exactly.
It
sounds
sounds
different.
completely different.
So what was the moment then you thought yourself, this is something I would like to get into?
I think the moment I realized, I'm going to start doing this for more, was when the feedback I got off the first 2 songs was all like, oh, Alex Boyle, like this is the fella that went to Newry High School, like, you know what I mean? It's like so weird to see this lad going out of his comfort zone and putting it out there. I remember, like, see, being in school, you were getting bullied and stuff like that there. That was another main reason why I knew I wanted to do it. I wanted to stick out. I wanted to be someone different. You know what I mean?
Right. And was it like a creative outlet for you then?
It was.
Rap
It means
music?
I could express what I'm thinking about more. You know what I mean? Like in school, I was sort of quiet. You know, I didn't really speak to no one. I had a very small group of friends. But with the rap music, I could express what I wanted to say. Rap is like, you know, there's no limits to what you can say in a rap song. So whatever I was thinking that day from coming home from school, I'd write it down, make a rap song about it, and then people would maybe realise.
So, early rap then, which was very political. Were you into that at all? You know, like in the late 1980s and the big scenes in Brooklyn and all that sort of stuff. Are you into that type of rap?
See, it's I would take a notion. You know what I mean? Mobb Deep, you know, Wu-Tang Clan and stuff like that there.
Yeah,
And
Nas, all that sort of.
Nas is he, even though he's like old, he would still be considered new.
Yeah.
Like the people my age, like you know, I'm 18, and like, you know, my dad would be saying about Tupac and Biggie Small, how they all got shot and they died or whatever like that there. I was just like, I was sitting there like, yeah, it's not my thing, like, you know what I mean? So, you know, the likes of Mobb Deep, Wu-Tang Clan and Nas and all, I would definitely take a notion to them sometimes. And even when I'm writing songs, you do have to go back to the old ones, but try not to have it political. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I would never be a political type of person. So when I hear politics and stuff like that there, I would never in day and age.
Well, it's where it was born out of rap, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was those guys needed their outlet because of the suppression of, you know, black communities in America and the huge rise of rap and hip hop. And when you listen to them and you hear that passion, you know, if you're going to write about politics, it's going to be a lot different than, you know, when the guys over there like Mobb Deep and all are gonna, because they were like constantly going through injustice in their life all the time, and they were being suppressed, and they were, you know, had difficulty making ends meet, and they were living in societies where they were potentially run down, and there was a lot of politics was a huge part of their life.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be authentic when it comes out in their music, isn't it?
Yeah, but like if an Irish artist does it, like
exactly, that's what I mean. It's authentic, and it's authentic to them.
It's going to be like, am I going to rap about Brexit here? Like, or am I going to rap about Stormont? You know what I mean?
So when you're writing, then what's your process? What do you like to write about?
I like to write about how I see the world through my eyes. You know what I mean? You know, tend to you know have this persona. You know what I mean, in music, you know, a big ego and all that there, you know what I mean, to go about rapping about how I'm the best and stuff like that there. It's the same sort of persona that the likes of Kanye West would have, you know what I mean? He would think he's the best and stuff like that there, but if you guarantee if you met him in person, he'd be a very humble guy, like, you know what I mean?
Not from the interviews I've seen of him, but
I know, but I say if you got him at the right time.
Yes. Well, I mean, obviously fame does things to people and all, and you know, so yeah, your writing process. What I discovered when I was listening to your music is how do you come up with the sounds and the melodies? Because in rap and hip hop, there's a culture of taking things that went before you and making it your own, isn't there?
Yeah,
it's a big part of hip hop, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, how I sort of made it my own was I had a look through all the Irish artists in the Irish scene and all the Irish rap artists, and I goes, what have they not done? You know what I mean? And what can I take from that? You know what I mean? There's this wee line that Irish artists have and they don't cross it. What's that line? I'm going to cross it. You know what I mean? Like any time I hear a rap song comes out from an Irish artist, it's drill music and they're talking about swinging knives about and stuff like that there. And I'm like, right, okay, you're doing that. I'm going to do what you're afraid to do and change the beats up and all that there and go metal and maybe bust out a few screams on a song or whatever like that there.
Yeah.
And I guarantee it's going to be 10 times better than your song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's the mentality that you have to have, yeah.
I know, you have to have that mindset that your song is going to do 10 times better than the other fella beside you. You know what I mean? If you're sitting in a studio full of artists, they're all talking about different rap music and all that there, stuff like that there. And what you have to think about is, right, they're talking about this, what hasn't been done in the Irish scene, what's going to make a difference, what's going to make a change, because what labels and, you know, record labels and all want from an Irish artist now is something different. Drill music in Ireland's been done. There's people being signed, Sallow, and, you know, he's an Irish artist and he's been signed for doing drill music. My process is, okay, you know, rock rap hasn't been done, punk rap hasn't been done. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna change it. You know, I'm gonna add all these different noises and sounds, put on a really groggy voice, like I smoked 20 fags before, you know, go into the studio and bust it all out. You know what I mean?
And what's the purpose of smoking the 20 fags then before you do your thing?
No, I'm saying it's like smoking 20 fags.
Oh, right.
Like
I thought that was a voice thing that you had to do.
I don't control it, like, you know what I mean? But it's like put on that voice, like you're outside the studio and you've just smoked 20 fags. You know what I mean? That's a groggy voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you haven't drank a bit of water before you went in.
What about the Streets? Do you like the Streets? Because they were, when they came out, they really made like a rap, garage rap, hip hop type thing.
Yeah.
A real British sound. It just felt like his stories were all about living on the streets in Britain. And when you're listening, you're like, somebody's made this genre of music their own. It's not somebody trying to be American or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd see what I like about the Streets is, well, as you said, they made it their own. You know what I mean?
All the stories are really cool, you know, of him growing up in England and, you know, going to parties and all, and it just feels so authentic, and the melodies are really good, and he does concept albums as well, doesn't he? Whereas there's a whole story running through the whole album and all, which is pretty cool with that genre of music, isn't it?
It's like, you know, it is true what they say. You have to do something different before you even make it. You know what I mean?
And then lyrically, he's great, isn't he? You know, he's great with words, which is a big part of rap, isn't it?
A big part of rap is, you know, what you put down on the pen and paper or on your notes or whatever on your phone. You have to. It's all about the delivery and how well them words flow into each other. You know, you can't just go on and talk about your day, how you went to the spa down the road. Like, you know what I mean? If you want to talk about that, it has to rhyme. It has to sound good. The delivery has to be perfect. You know, if it. And
there's a linguistic element to it, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
near enough like poetry, the words all need to really, you know, stand out, don't they? You know, outside of music, then, what's your sort of inspirations when you're writing?
Outside of music, you know, fashion and, you know, acting and stuff like that. There, I would watch a lot of movies and stuff like that.
So, what sort of movies then would you get into? Would it be crime stuff?
I do. I like crime. I love horror movies. See horror movies. I've recently I went to go see that new Saw movie, and
what's that? Like I say, I remember going to see the originals in the
new Saw movie is just like the old ones. You know what I mean? There was a knockoff. I think Spiral. It was like a knockoff to the Saw movies. But see this old one, you know, your John Kramer's back in it and stuff like that.
Okay.
It was perfect. You know what I mean? I'm leaving that cinema that day after watching it. You're full of ideas and full of inspirations. You know, you could use stuff from that movie as references.
There's a lot of tension in the Saw movies, isn't it? And I mean, it's not everybody's cup of tea. The violence is extreme in it, but there is a lot of there's a lot of tension involved, isn't there? So do those feelings then give you like inspiration then to write things, you know?
Yeah, like the tension and all that there, you know, it inspires when you're watching an intense movie, you know, if there's a build up for an album on a rap song or for a rap album or a singing album or whatever, there always has to be a build up, a bit of a tension, or, you know what I mean? A bit of tension for, like, you know, oh, is he going to drop? Is he going to do this? Is he going to do that? How's it going to go? So when any time, what I would take tension from a movie is I would take it as, you know, tension for a build up of an album. What's he going to come out with next? You know, it's never
there's a lot of like riffs and different things in all your music, isn't there? You know, like you've got sound bites from different things, and they inspire you then when you write, do they?
Yeah, like see when seeing movies and, you know, stuff like that there, it's not that hard to take a bit from a movie, sample it and put it into a beat and, you know, write to that. You know, I can go down to the studio in Dublin, you know, and think about a Saw movie and then put in a Saw lyric, or, you know, think about, you know, The Conjuring, put in a Conjuring lyric, you know what I mean? And then add a bit of that movie into the beat so it correlates with the song, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, even when I write, I listen to a lot of music, and sometimes one song inspires me. It's weird. And then I listen to that song on loop, like for a whole day when I'm right. It just gets me into that. Do you ever get that whenever you're...
I would, anytime a song is on or whatever like that there, like if I hear a really good song I like, I'm going to listen to that song day after day, night after night, 24 hours a day, like, and I'm going to be like, how did he do that? And how can I do that? But put an Irish accent on it and times it by 2 and make it better. That's a mentality every time. You hear all these big artists dropping, you got Drake and stuff like that, they're dropping new albums and stuff. You listen to them and then go, okay, he's done that. How can I do that? Times it by 2 and put an Irish accent on it.
Yeah.
Make it sound better. You know what I mean? That's the mentality you got to have with all types of music. You get what I
mean? Technology then. How has technology made... Because would you say you're 18 years age? And you've done 3 albums already, which is amazing. At your age, you know. How has technology benefited you to do that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, technology. See the power of social media and having a phone is amazing when you're making music. Like if I didn't have a phone and I was making music, I would struggle to promote it, you know. And all these different softwares and stuff that you can put in to, you know, make your voice sound higher pitched, put some auto-tune on it, you know what I mean? You know,
because I'd say, like, you know, if you went back to, I remember when people were recording when I was younger and it was all bands and stuff, and there's a lot of studios set up for bands. You know, they'd be set up for, you know, guitars, you'd be set up for bass, you'd be set up, then you'd be vocal room, even have keyboards and all that sort of thing there. But with your genre of music, you wouldn't have really wouldn't have had the facilities for that. They wouldn't have been set up for rap or hip hop, you know, in this country.
Yeah.
So technology really has made it's eliminated that sort of middleman, hasn't it?
Yeah,
so to speak?
it has. It's went over the middleman's head. You know, it's you know, technology nowadays it's so easy to go onto YouTube and find a rap beat and download it and put it into the beat, as long as you pay for it, obviously, because, you know, you can end up in court the next day if you drop a song and, you know, you didn't pay for it. Like,
yeah,
it's a big lawsuit thing. Like,
so what's the process then if you want to? Is there a copyright procedure when you're putting stuff into music? Or
there is a copyright procedure. You have to go. There's a website called Internet Archives, and you have to go onto there and see if it's copyright free. So if I wanted to take something, you know, from an album from the 80s, it has to be on Internet Archives, or I can't use it. If I did ignore that rule and used it, I could be sued. You know, I could lose all my money. If, say, that song blew up and it was sampling Ed Sheeran, you know what I mean? Ed Sheeran would hear that song and he would have me in court as soon as possible. Like,
well, they can scan all that stuff now.
Yeah.
They can scan the internet for it and it flags up. I, funny enough, remember an episode of the Trailer Park Boys. J-Rock he's a rap. Have you seen the Trailer Park Boys? J-Rock in it, where he released an album and he just stole all the music off some other rap artist and put it on his own CD and just threw in his own, hey, you know, in the middle of it and all. And then the rap artist actually turns up, you know, and he says, hey man, you're busting my tunes and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I'm sure it doesn't work like that. Like, I'm sure Ed Sheeran's not going to show up at my house if I use it. Like, you know what I mean? But it works in a similar way that, you know, you have to be very careful. Even your flows. If you take someone's flow and the artist knows that you've took their delivery and flow, they can sue you for that too. They can, you know, take you to court because you had the same flow as their chorus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is, so when you're recording, you have to be very careful on how you write it, because I find myself, it's hard to not get carried away with, you know, you've heard a song a couple of hours ago and you're writing and it sounds the exact same. You know what I mean? And it's hard.
You seem for somebody so young, you seem to have your head screwed on when it comes to that stuff, because a lot of people wouldn't. And I mean, even like when I'm making content or whatever for YouTube and all, like I have to be super careful. But I've had stuff taken down, you know, because of copyright strikes and all that, and you know, I'd be careful with it. Did you learn any lessons early on about that, or is that something you knew before going in?
That's something I knew before going in, because you hear all these stories about, you know, artists suing each other, and artists, you know, taking rights from the songs or whatever like that there, you know. I remember, I think the first time I heard about it was Juice WRLD. He's dead now. He died, but he was a rapper, and he used a song from I can't remember his name. I think it was the Police. You know the band Police.
Oh yeah, that was a huge lawsuit,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Was that every breath you take? Was it?
Yeah.
That was a huge. But then, I think they settled that, and the Police make a fortune off that song.
Yeah,
I think
they settled it. They decided because okay, he's dead or whatever. He can't speak for himself.
Who's that?
Juice WRLD.
Oh yeah.
So we don't want to take the money off him, so we'll just cut the rights. You know what I mean?
Was P Diddy did that? Or?
P Diddy did that as well. The same
Right.
thing, but I don't think P Diddy had. P Diddy actually got permission for that. This is another artist. That
Okay,
he was
right,
He was just
right.
new in the scene, like.
Right.
And I think he got ripped for it, like.
Right.
He got ripped, but he was dead, and I couldn't do anything about it. So
Yes.
they just took 100% of the rights off him, and any money made off that song goes to the police.
Right. Okay. In terms of how you consume music, is it now just all Spotify, all Apple Music? Is it all streamed? Is there still, because you see like vinyl markets and stuff like that, and vinyl starting to make a bit of a comeback in terms of people like to have, stuff in their collection. They like having to be able to touch something, and it's like a little piece of art that the people collect. Is it the same thing with rap? Is the vinyl industry, is it growing like it is in other genres of music?
I tell you, which is very surprising, vinyl industry in rap is very big. The collection, like people like to collect vinyls now. Vinyls are huge now, especially for my age. I've got a friend, you walk into his room, vinyls everywhere, all over the wall. You know what I mean? And half the people he couldn't even name. He just likes the, it's a bit of furniture in his room. Like, you know what I mean?
It's funny, like, when I was growing up and it was CDs, and then, when I was really young, it was tapes, vinyl, and then CDs came along, and vinyl was gone. There was no vinyl. It was just like, very rarely would you find people even interested in collecting vinyls.
You see,
but then when digital music came in, vinyl then started coming back year by year by year, and now there's like big record shops again, selling, classic records. There's records going for hundreds, records going for thousands, originals and stuff. It's crazy.
You see, it's artists, the way artists do it now is rap artists will drop a clothing line along with the music, and they will drop merch for the album they made, and then they would add a vinyl with it as well. So then they do the merch bundle. So you get the vinyl, you get the clothes, and all around, all that money you made off that boosts your streams, boosts the money you make off an album, and then you see how much money you made first week. I've seen artists I go on Instagram and I see artists making £270,000 first week on just merch and vinyl sales alone.
Merchandise is a massive thing now, isn't it? With establishing a following online and then creating a funnel then for people to buy, Prime is an example, that drink, Mr.
Huge.
Beast chocolate, all that sort of stuff. You said to me just before we came on air that you've designing your own clothes in.
This is readers only. I decided to make it there a couple of months ago. It's been an all around idea I've wanted to do for so long. I love fashion. I love anything to do with fashion. I take a look at someone's.
But it's mad that you're so young. You've done 3 albums and now you want your own clothing label.
I know. It's just because it's just that push and drive. I was like, what's next? What can I do? Clothes. Boom it out. Let's go.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, and it fits in with the type of music you make and different things. So, do you see a future for that then with your clothing business?
I would love to see a future with that. You know what I mean? I can see it. It's going somewhere, but it's all about the part. Like, you need to find one person to wear it. That is huge, and that's it. Your clothing lines blew up or whatever. Same thing happened with Gucci, Balenciaga, and all that there stuff like that.
Well, you'd be doing well if you're up to the Gucci level.
Yeah. But no, I want to push the clothing more than the music.
And again, like music, like the way the world's going. Like if for example, you go on to TikTok now, TikTok's got its own shop. You do a big following on TikTok. All of a sudden, you can funnel people over into your shop that can buy stuff on TikTok that's yours.
Yeah.
You can see that's where the future of the world's going. Artists, doesn't matter what genre it is, or influencers, or whatever you want to call them, create a big following, and they eliminate the middleman. They don't need shops anymore. They don't need to take their clothing line to a big clothing label and hope to get it into stores. They can do it all online themselves.
Yeah. No, it's what I use Shopify.
Yeah, it's another one. Huge.
It's I know the likes of that Mr. Beast chocolate was made off Shopify, and he's huge.
Yes,
but he still uses Shopify. He would promote Shopify and all that there. That's actually how I found out about it, funny enough, through Mr. Beast video.
Mr. Beast, any of his products that go on the shelves sell out. Doesn't matter where it is.
Yeah.
And you've got major brands like Cadbury's and all, I'm sure they still sell bucket loads of stuff, but their products are still all on the shelves. Yeah. And then you've Mr. Beast, this YouTube guy is probably got the #1 selling chocolate,
You see, you walk into the Spar. I have a Spar in Points Pass, and I walk into the Spar. I remember walking into the Spar and seeing his face slapped on, this chocolate bar, and I was like, £2.
And then the sensation around all these products, like I remember being a kid and it coming up to Christmas, and there was always a toy that sold out, but it was always like from a corporate institution. It was like the Turtles or Furbies or whatever, Nintendos or whatever is sold out, and it's really hard to get. And there's this whole people phoning each other and all. They've got 3 on the shelves, and then you have to rush down to get it or whatever. Now it's influencers.
I know.
And them bottles of Prime that is it Logan Paul?
Logan Paul and KSI.
Yeah, those things were going for like 20 quid a bottle. A juice.
I know. I won't lie. I was a victim of one of them there.
For a bottle of mineral. That's actually Joe said.
I went into this American sweet shop in Portadown. Joe in the Meadow shopping centre in Portadown. And I walked in and I seen it, and it was £15, and I was like,
15. You spent £15 on a bottle of juice.
Yeah, I was like,
was there 2 vodkas in it?
No, definitely not. Like, cause I walked in, and I was like, I haven't tried this yet. I'm gonna buy it.
But that shows you the power of marketing, the power of the internet, the power of all these. It was bedlam. People trying to find Prime earlier in the year. It was mad, wasn't it?
There was queues outside Sainsbury's and Tesco's
for a bottle of juice. But it shows you, you can do anything with the internet, if you can create that sensation. I haven't. What's it like? I haven't tried it.
I have a bottle in my car. I actually should have brought it up to let you try it. Like, I actually have a bottle in my car. I literally bought it on the way up. It was £2 in the Spar.
Well, it's come down a bit from 15, hasn't it? So that's every cloud.
I don't mind, but I had a bottle in the car. I actually should have brought it up to show you. Like,
so what was your very first recording experience like when you were recording?
My very first recording experience was off, the Apple earphones. The wee
AirPods.
Yes, and like the
the stringed ones. Yeah,
and
you
have the wee. There's a wee thing here on, like, as if these were the headphones. There's a wee thing here and the wee mic.
I
recorded my first song off that. That's what was my first song. It's not up anymore.
Right.
And it sounded horrible. It was awful. Let's even listen to it, and I can't even listen. 15 seconds in, I can't listen to it.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
Your first recording experience. What did you learn from that?
I learned, to not talk shite through the mic, you know what I mean? Because
okay, and elaborate in what way do you mean?
Lying on music, when people know you and know you in person, and they hear that you're lying, and he goes, "Oh, you're talking shite here."
So you're saying you're walking down the street with like $1 million bundles in your pocket and all that sort of shit.
About you have diamond chains and stuff like that. Yeah, and then you meet the fella, you meet people, your mates in person, and go, "See that song you were singing there? You're talking shite, like."
All the bling bling stuff, doing music videos. Well, here's my hose and all.
Where's that chain you bought? I just seen you walking outside Primark there. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, what are you at? Like, it's I know I learned how just to not talk. Don't talk shite in your music. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people that do. I'm not gonna out them or whatever, but like, there's a lot of it. Irish rap music is deadly for it. Talking shite about it.
Yeah,
It's
a balancing act, though, isn't it? I mean, you were saying earlier on about, like, you need to give it the bravado thing.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, you need to be authentic. It's a tough balancing line, and writing's really difficult. It doesn't matter what the genre is, and even in my field of work, writing is the hardest thing to do. So, doing something that stands out, that is authentic, and has a great sound to it, there's a lot of boxes to tick there, isn't there?
Yeah. I'm sure with the Taxi Joe thing, it was hard to write all that there. But like at the same time, see, even watching it, it just looks like some fellow that just pulled out a Clanray taxis and is just recording his videos. Like,
well, I mean, that was the idea of it, and it was something that has developed over a number of years. But even like in the early days, like when I was doing them videos, some of the early ones, you look back at them and they didn't work, and they didn't work because I lost sight on what the objective, the main objective of the video should be, and that is to make something funny.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can get lost in the storytelling, sometimes you get lost in the narrative or the opinion of the character or whatever. And some of the videos maybe got a bit too political on it or whatever, but it's finding that balance. And then I think the key thing, whatever you're doing creatively, is if you make a pile of shit, you have to take a step back and realize that it's a pile of shit and not just completely, constantly think to yourself, oh, this is the best thing since sliced bread, and people go, no, it's shit. And then you go, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You need to take on that feedback. You need to understand that, when you're starting out making these things, it's a learning experience and it's a growing experience. You're not going to grow from constantly thinking your stuff's brilliant. You know what I mean?
I see. It's, I have a song called Bellinis, right?
Yes. Yeah, well, I've got a question about that. We'll get to that later. But what were you going to say there?
The authentication about that song was, it's relatable. But,
yes.
when I says about to a few mates that I'm coming up, interview with Gino Lynch, they're like, who's Gino Lynch? I was like, Taxi Joe. And they're like, oh, yes. Choose life, choose Newry.
Yeah.
See, but I feel like that's popular because it's relatable.
Yeah.
Everything, that's said in that video is like, I've been there, done that. Like, the hot noodle stuff and the chicken balls. And everything like that, it's relatable. Like,
I mean, it's Choose Newry is essentially Newry in a nutshell, isn't it?
Yeah.
The life of someone from Newry in a nutshell.
I know, but like, see, it's one of them videos that you could like, everything that is said on it, done that there, the canal court.
You suppose you should do it. I should have done a bit of content like that.
Yeah.
I should do the Choose Newry checklist. How many of these have you done?
I know, but it's the same role in music. Like, people like the music because it's relatable. You know what I mean?
So when you're writing an album, how long does it take from the very start of the process then to having the finished piece?
I mean, my last album, 7 months it took to make. That was a lot of trips down and back and forth to Dublin. I go to Pirate Studios in Dublin. I have my own sound engineer down there too.
So you have a studio and all, and that's where you record your stuff, right? Very good.
So 7 months.
I only asked that because there's some people doing it themselves now.
Yeah.
With all the technology.
Oh, it's very easy to do it yourself. You can make a song in your bedroom. I tend to do that as well sometimes, but I prefer. There's something about the aesthetic of a studio.
And then, would you do demos at home?
Oh, yes.
And then bring your demos with you to the studio?
Yeah, voice memos on your phone. You would hum and mumble it into your phone, and then all right, put that away. I'll come back to that on Saturday.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You go down.
And you find yourself doing that a lot whenever you're just randomly out, and then an idea pops into your head. Will you just get a voice note out, record it?
Yeah, driving, whatever, and I'm mumbling something or whatever. Say, the police have pulled me over or whatever. That split 10 seconds from the police leaving the cop car to your door. Like, you can voice memo something there. You know what I mean? The ideas come from everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The 5-0. The 5-0.
I know, but you'd call it the Peelers now if you're rapping about it. Like, you know what I mean? You wouldn't say in an Irish rap song the 5-0. You would say the Peelers.
Yeah. So when you were a kid then, what was the moment when you decided, right, this is what I want to do?
Music, when I was a kid, my mum, she heavily had me around music, Blondie and stuff like that there, Def Leppard.
Well, funny enough, you can see Blondie in your music, because Blondie she was pre-hip hop, but a lot of her stuff, those hip hop elements to it. I think there's one song when she does a rap in it.
Yeah, Rapture, I think it's called.
Yes.
Blondie and Def Leppard and stuff like that there. Music that I wouldn't listen to now, but my mom would always say, you were in your bouncer in between the door, and you would have the brush and you would be just bouncing to the music. Like,
the collaborative process, how do you get other people involved? And then also when you're writing, how do you go, this would be a good bit for this guy or this girl to do or whatever? It's
a long process, especially in the Irish scene. The Irish music scene is, they sort of, you know, they're ignorant in a way. You know, they're up their own ass. sort of.
Is this the rap community?
Yes, the rap community. Singers and Irish, you know, and country singers and stuff, it'd be very easy. But Irish rappers are just, you know, can be up their ass. You know
Right,
what I mean?
okay.
You ask one, you can, it's all Instagram now, but emailing and stuff like that there, I tend to like to email sometimes. Send it through, and you know what I mean, they'll say they'll check it out. 2 weeks later, they blocked you on Instagram, and you know, you don't want to hear it from you again. Like, you know what I mean? You're asking, you're trying to phone them or whatever. You know, they don't want to have a bit of you, but then you know, you're in the same studio as them one day, and they'd not talk to you. You know what I mean? It's a weird collaboration in the Irish music scene is hard, but they sort of only care if you have the big numbers. You know what I mean? If you have big numbers, happy days, I'll clap you no bar because I'll get a wee percent out of it. Like, you know what I mean? But if you're low, you know, the talent's there, but your numbers isn't.
Yeah.
So they don't want to bet you.
But it's such a new thing, isn't it? So finding collaborators can be tougher than, say, like in Newry, for instance, you've tons of bands and stuff, you know. So if a bass player breaks his hand, you know, for a gig in the Blues Festival, they have phone book full of bass players that can come in and slot in, but it's different here for rap music, isn't it?
Yeah, especially in Newry. You see Newry, rap music, even though people listen to it, if you're doing it, you're frowned upon. Like,
but even like even band music in Newry, like unless you play covers, you're not going to play it. Like,
yeah,
you know, so the live music scene in Newry is bands that play covers. That's it. So even if you're a band that wants to play original stuff and play original live music, you're gonna have a tougher time doing that live. But Newry, like, it's hard to. Newry hasn't really got a big entertainment culture at all, you know. So during the week, even bars and pubs struggle during the week. You know, they don't get a lot of people in them, and even Friday nights is quiet now, you know. So they've got their Saturdays and they've got their Sundays. So the entertainment scene in Newry it's a very difficult thing to keep afloat, you know.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, and understand what rap, you'd love to play live there and all that. But it's the same with anything there, you know, stand-up comedy or any of them places that want to put something on. They all think to themselves, this is a risk, you know. And especially during the week, they could put something on and nobody could turn up. That's anything, you know.
Yeah.
So it is, Newry's a funny place like that, you know. People like their Chinese during the week and a wee carry out, you know, and then they might go to the pub at the weekend or whatever. But it's just difficult for anything live in Newry, isn't it?
Like, it's who, like, I'm trying to think the last time a big recent event was going on. I think it was like, they were everywhere at one point there. The JFKs in Newry.
Oh, right. Never heard of them.
Some fella was wearing this mask and it was like, you know, fire tux bag wrapped around the mask. You know what I mean? They were very bracing the Newry culture. You know what I mean? Some fella was dressed up as Tony Reiser. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Okay.
there were this 3-man band. And there were songs about the butter crane. There were songs about, you know, cobbles and, you know, the Monaghan
And
Street.
what sort of genre of music is it?
They're rock music, but the thing about them was it was covers, but they twisted the lyrics and
they made them all Newry lyrics.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Talking about the Dolce Vita, you know what I mean? Stuff like that there. But that's the last time something big in, you know, the Newry sort of entertainment thing was going about, and that was a couple of months ago there. They're like, even though they're small, but everybody was dying to go and see them, you know, because they were that funny sort of, you know, they're funny music, you know what I mean? And, you know, when an artist is taking it serious, you know what I mean, and rapping, you know, doing music or singing or whatever, and they're singing actual lyrics and all that there stuff, and they're not talking about Newry, people are like, what's this shite, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's rapping nonsense here. Like.
Yeah.
But if I turned around and made music about something in Newry, it's all popular. You know what I mean? Everyone's loving it, talking on.
Yeah, and you gotta understand too, it's new and it's different, and it's gonna be, in my opinion, and it's gonna be massive in Ireland, you know, but it just takes time, you know, and if you're a pioneer in the space and the genre, it gives you a huge head start over the rest of the field, you know.
Yeah.
But the only issue is when it starts out, you will get a lot of people going, what is this? You know, they're just not used to it, you know what I mean?
I know. Like, you know, you get a lot of faces, like, you know what I mean? If ever you can be walking through the bus station in Newry and you just go, is that Alex Boyle? Like, you know what I mean? What a weirdo. That weirdo there, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like, you know, you've just got to not care what other people think.
You have to have the right head on, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, some days I'll be like, oh, whatever, you know, see you later, like, you know what I mean? And then other days it's just like, you know, I go home and I'm like, that actually really pissed me off, you know that?
Yeah, well, you know, over time, like, and any criticism that I've got over my stuff, I've always pretty much shrugged it off. And the older you get, like, I even take, when people criticize the stuff, I even take it on board, you know, the criticism and go, "Ooh, right, does, you know, maybe, you know, if they," and I find sometimes negative criticism is more beneficial than positive criticism, because then you can start going, right, okay, this didn't work for them. Why did it not work for them? You know, and then you can start thinking about, when you get this collection of feedback from different people and a variety of it's negative, then you can start thinking of, you know, learning how to improve your craft, you know? And like some of the, like, and especially with comedy is so subjective. So I know, right, when I make stuff and I put content out, a load of people are going to think this is a pile of shit. And it doesn't matter what I do cinematography wise or editing wise or how good it is. Comedy is such a subjective thing that I know people are going to think this is dung, right? Now you get a percentage of comments that say this is a pile of shit, right? But it's a very, very, very small amount. But what you find is most of the people that wouldn't like it don't comment on it. Do you know what I mean? So when you're making that stuff, you just become completely desensitized to that negative feedback, and you're putting stuff out and you're just going to know people are going to think this is a pile of shit, but a lot of people are going to like it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's even the greatest comedies of all time. I remember when The Office came out, and I loved The British Office, one of my favourite shows, and loads of people hated it. Hated it. And for me, it's the greatest thing the BBC's ever did. You know what I mean? So when you're making stuff, it's like, and particularly when it's new and it's different, you are going to get that. You are going to get a lot of people going, what is this? You know what I mean? You're just going to get it. And that's just the nature of creating things and doing things. But then on the plus side, you're going to get people that say, that is amazing. I've even had people send me messages saying your videos changed my life. They got me through lockdown, you know, things like that. So you've got those extremes and polarizing opinions on stuff that, and what you tend to find is your best videos are the most polarizing, or maybe the best work that you do is the most polarizing. Do you know what I mean?
I know. You know, it's the same with, like, you know, the music. Just take that leap of faith. You know what I mean? Throw it out there. If you think it's good, put it out. If you think it's shit, keep it.
So your first album, then, Euphoria. So when did you decide was the right time to record your first album?
I think it was, you know, it was sort of a spontaneous idea. You know what I mean? I was sort of thinking off the top of the head, like, I goes, right, okay, I've dropped an EP and stuff like that there, you know what I mean? I goes, I'm gonna drop an album, you know what I mean? Just out of the blue. I was like, you know what, drop an album. And, you know, when I was making that album, I was all like, okay, the album has a theme, you know, the whole way through an album. I don't like that. I don't like having a theme on an album. I like having every song different. You know, every song is to be something tasting new, you know what I mean?
Well, that's, I think that tends to be the trend in music now, in the sense that music isn't consumed as albums as much as it used to be. So that idea of a concept album isn't as relevant as it used to be.
I know, like, on this album I'm working on now, my sound engineer, when we were talking about it, I says about, you know, let's do something like the way I did with Euphoria back in the day, you know what I mean? And he was all like, Euphoria is it's shite, like, you know, I'll say it myself, it is dirt, you know what I mean? But he says what made Euphoria shite was, you know, all the songs in it were badly mixed and mastered, you rapped them all wrong and stuff like that there, but the key thing was it didn't have a concept. And he goes, rap albums have to have a concept. And I was all like, I disagree with you on that one, you know, because, be honest, when was the last time someone sat through a whole album? You know what I mean? If every beat's different, it's going to be like they're just flicking through their playlist and playing different songs. So that's why I says for the new album, I want it to be every subgenre of rap put into an album, throw it out there to show my versatility and show that I can do all these different types of beats and stuff like that there. And, you know, if you put out an album that's complete, all the beats are different, all different subgenres, there's going to be one song in there that someone likes. So it's a win-win in that situation.
So who is Mike the Martian?
Mike the Martian.
That's a class name.
I know. Mike the Martian, that's like, listen, I haven't spoke to him in so long. Mike the Martian, he was a fella. He's from, I think he's Donegal. He's from Donegal. I have not met Mike the Martian once in my life. But me and him, collaboration anytime, me and him make a song, people say you're like two wings on a plane. The song just takes off. You know what I mean? Anytime, you know, we work together, we're like-minded. He's an artist himself. He's a rap artist, really good. I would 100% recommend him. He's brilliant. He's one of them Irish artists that I would recommend to someone. You know what I mean? Because his music is similar to mine in a way. So, you know, when we're working, we're like-minded.
The song Snakes and Rats, plenty of them about, isn't there?
Oh, there's hundreds. You know?
I'd say you had no trouble finding inspiration for that song.
Oh, I just had to walk down the street from Newry, and
how do we look into the canal full of snakes and rats?
The whole point of Snakes and Rats was, you know, it was all about, you know, people snaking you and all that there, you know, just backstabbers and stuff like that there. And then the rats is just, you know, people talking a load of shit about your music. So I was like, yeah.
What'd you learn from the first album then?
From the first album, I learned, you know, the mix and master of every song is key. You know, you could be rapping the shittest lyrics, but the mix and mastering can boost it. The effects as well. I learned, you know, using effects is key as well. So you slip in, you know, I think there was a part in my song where it's just, you know, I'm sort of trying to sing a wee bit, but I can't sing. If I had a slapped auto-tune on that one, it would sound 10 times better. And repetitive lyrics, I learned as well not to be repetitive. It's just repetitive lyrics are just a no-go.
Then your next album was Ego. What's the ego in reference to?
Ego is, as I said at the start, you know, the persona of me on music, that high ego and stuff like that there, you know.
Right.
So the whole album was to show off how, you know, I'm the best. You can't do this. You can't do that. You know what I mean? All that there as a persona thing. People took it a wee bit too serious, and says, "Oh, like this album just makes him look like an asshole." Like, you know what I mean? Just it's the way I wanted it to work. But you know, there were some fun tracks on that.
And you see, it's interesting you're saying you hear what it's interesting when you start putting stuff out. And would you say you were at the start sensitive to people's reactions to stuff? I
was, yes. When I started music, I was in lockdown, and I was loving it. I was like, yes, I don't have to go back to school. You know, this is great. No one's going to say anything. And then all of a sudden, we all have to go back to school in September. I was like, shit, you know.
If you're still at school during lockdown,
I was like, shit, you know, I'm going to have to go back to school here. I have this rap music thing. Everyone knows about it. I went into school.
You get back into school with the cap on backwards, you had the chain and all. I go, who's this guy? What happened to him during lockdown?
I walked in and I remember one time learning for life and work class. I was sitting in class, and next thing you know, some fella in the back pipes up and goes, "Here, sir, do you want to hear Alex Boyle's music?"
Oh, like, brilliant.
Shit. And then I was like, "No, please don't." Like, and he goes, "We do this here," and he played it, and it was just me swearing and stuff like that there, and the teacher was just a face of disgust.
Seriously, yeah.
Oh, he was hating it, and everyone was laughing, and I was sitting there like, "Oh, Jesus Christ!" I've sort of tried to laugh with them, but it looked like made me more of a fool.
So the teacher wasn't digging the vibes,
no,
was he?
His teacher was hating it. The teacher actually turned around and says, "Turn that off," and I was like, "Oh." And now I work in a residential care home.
Oh, for, right, very good.
Vulnerable adults.
Right.
So that's heavy inspiration too, working in there.
Yeah.
Get your eyes opened in there a lot.
Yeah,
so.
I'd imagine so. When you see a lot of stories there, you see a lot with people like that, don't you? There's a lot of story there, isn't there? You work
36 hours a week, and it's just puts it into the music,
The track Bellinis, which is a standout in that album, that's a really stupid question. Where did the inspiration come from Bellinis? But where did the song come about?
The song came out because my ma, she used to say this, like saying, I was like, rave like a cat and look like a frog. You know?
That is one of the lines, rave like a cat and look like a frog in the song, isn't it?
Yeah, that's like one of the things. And, you know, like, I was all like, and she was saying it, I was like, you know, let's make a song in this album for the Newry ones. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I've seen from first-hand experience, I've seen Hallions on the dance floor in Bellinis that would make a frog look like Michael Flatley. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, when I was making the song, I was like, okay, let's make a song for the Newry ones. You know what I mean? Let's make this song really funny. Let's talk about, you know, where I'm from and then where Newry is and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Points passed and Newry's 15 minutes away from each other. But I was like, went to a nightclub, rave like a cat and looked like a frog, and then I was like Bellinis, and then I was like near broke my ankle. Like my dad did a Portchester golf. My dad actually broke his ankle in Portchester golf course.
Did he? Yeah.
So that's where that lyric came from. So
It's a class golf course. I've never played on it, but I've seen it. It's beautiful.
I played it on it. I was there that day. He broke his ankle.
Oh no.
But
just shows you what inspires you, doesn't
I know.
it? Your dad's laying there with a broken ankle and you've got the notepad out making lyrics and all. Help me, son.
It was, you know, when I came out with that song, everyone was like, okay, this is the anthem. Like that was a Newry anthem there for months on end. People were singing it. If I do a show, it's play Bellinis, chant Bellinis, and everyone seems to know it word for word.
Yeah. Like, but I remember when Bellinis first opened, and the place was jammed every night of the week. Now it's different pubs. It's different now for pubs, you know.
Yeah.
You know, but it was the spot for 3, 4, 5 years. Even you go there on a Thursday night and there'd be queues near all the way down to Canal Street to get into the place.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like Bellinis is just like a cornerstone of Newry now, isn't it?
I know, but I was a bit upset when you know the wee nightclub below it, Whistle and Donkey, is it? There's a new nightclub below it called the Whistle and Donkey.
The Whistle and Donkey, never heard of it.
And I was a bit upset when they didn't invite me to the cut the ribbon of it. You know what I mean? I was like,
oh, right.
I made a song about you not invite me to cut the ribbon here. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, maybe one day.
I think I've only been in Bellinis once. That's it. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, you've only been in it once, and now you're expecting them to come around cutting red ribbons. So that's a bit much, isn't it?
But I was like, even when it was coming about, I was all my friends were saying you should have been there. You know what I mean? Because as probably as a piss take, like. But all in seriousness though, like you know, I say at the end of it, I hate Bellinis and fuck Bellinis and all that there shit they got there. So I didn't mean it.
Maybe that Boyle in it, but what they've got to understand is the hip hop life and the rap life. You know, that's the lingo that happens, isn't it? Like,
yeah, but Bellinis, it's just a song that people in Newry seem to have the taste to. Like,
but can you see, like inspiration for whenever you're out at night for writing music?
Oh yeah, the biggest inspiration when I'm out at night is Sergios. Like, I love popping into Sergios.
Right, so Sergio's tune is on the works, is it?
I think there might be like I think I've recorded a video snippet for a song inside Sergio's one day.
Right.
One night, but you know where everyone goes to Sergio's
night out, 3 or 4 in the morning on a Saturday night.
He seems to be the only shop open.
He loves it. Loves it.
And he loves the crack too. Like,
loves it.
But you know, again.
When I remember the days when I used to go there, and it was just like you go there like 2 or 3 in the morning, the place was bunged.
Oh, it's bunged now, like
bunged.
It's still bunged. But you know, Sergio's is like Fight Club. You know?
I mean, full of Hallions.
Oh yeah,
like you couldn't move for Hallions in the place.
Yeah, you see, if you you go in there with your girlfriend's gonna get chatted up, but like, you know, someone's gonna chat up your girlfriend while you're ordering your pizza. Like,
that's,
you know,
that's the sacrifices you have to make for a pizza. You know what I mean? You might lose your girlfriend, but at least you get a pepperoni 12-inch. You know,
you walk into Sergio's, but you get a bit of crack out of them, like you do. You're going to get crack out of them. Like
Newry's up, but for fast food, Newry's always been exceptional. The Chinese has been fantastic. The Friar Tucks, you've all that stuff. It's great. Moving on to your third album, Life's a Rage. A lot of rage in a lot of the songs. You know, the word rage.
Yeah.
Was that something you needed to? Was it like a therapeutic process getting that album off your chest?
See, rage is, and I see when I get asked that a lot. You know, are you actually raging? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you like, what is the meaning behind all that there? But it's rage music is, it's not all anger. It's not about anger. It's not about how I'm feeling. Rage music is a subgenre in itself in rap. It's rage music, so it's all that. See,
Right.
if you listen to the album, it's all synths and different noises
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
really like all put together. There's a lot of noises. That's rage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all that different noise and stuff like that there. But when I was making it, the voice, I was all like, my voice is too soft for this album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a wee fella from Newry, like, or, you know, from Bestbrook. It's just, I can't, you know, I'll not be able to rap over these beats. And my sound engineer goes, why don't you change your voice up a wee bit? So that's when I put on that groggy voice and started, you know, squealing into the microphone and all that there, going metal. And it turned out really well, like, so that's what I repeated it through the whole album.
Track 2 is called "This the Scene."
Aye. Yeah.
Nothing to do with me now.
No, it's definitely not about you. It was this the same. Oh, I've never actually talked about it. This the scene was about, you know, me talking about the Irish thing. That's
Right.
dissing the Irish.
Right.
I'm just
Right.
dissing every
Right.
single Irish artist on the island. Like, that's me going for them all. You know what I mean? And, you know, a week before that, I got dissed by some fella from Newry. And you know what I mean? And he sent these wee fellas, you know, on Instagram, will slash your face and all that there, stuff like that there. Shrugged it off and made a song, This the Scene, just talked about, you know, all the bullshit about the Irish scene and stuff like that there, how they're up their own holes and stuff like that there, you know, all that there sort of thing. Like,
I think musically, you can see the progression in your third album, can't you?
you can.
You know, and you think about when you were talking earlier on about your first album. It was a couple of, you must have made that when you were 16, did you?
Yeah, 15.
15. So, you know, you're making this third album when you're 17 and you can see the progression, not even 18 yet, you know.
Yeah.
So you have a long road ahead of you, you know, and it's good to be making that progress. But I think it's important that you know there's a long road ahead of you and you keep doing what you're doing. You know, the world's your oyster, really, isn't it?
I know. And it's going to be exciting to see how this fourth album fares out, because I'm evolving with every album. What am I going to be like with the fourth? If people think I'm evolving on the third, what's it going to be like with the fourth? Like,
Your song Rage Club,
that's a tune.
yeah, that's my favourite song that you've done. There's a real drive to the melody in
Yeah.
that. Where did that come from?
There's this artist called Lil Uzi Vert, and he's a song called Just Wanna Rock, and it's that real clubby sort of bounce. You know, that beat in Rage Club is Jersey Club,
Right.
and the whole album is called Life's a Rage. So I just went Rage Club. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a Jersey Club beat. I'm on the wee bit of the rage to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I was working on it, you know, lyrics like Nicolas Cage take his face off and all that there, you know what I mean? That's from the movie The Face Off and Nicolas Cage.
Oh, right. Yeah. I love Nicolas Cage.
And I just wanted a club tune that could be played anywhere you go. I wanted a song that I could play anywhere, you know, to anyone, you know what I mean? Because it's one of them songs that no matter what music you like, you're going to like it, like, you know what I mean? Well, I hope you would like it. But Rage Club is just, it's second to best with Bellinis at the moment in Newry.
Right.
So slowly getting that respect in Newry as an artist. There's so much more I want to do now. You know, I've done rap and, you know, I had to wait a wee bit to do the clothes. Next thing I want to do is get into a bit of acting.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But I'm like, where can I start with this acting thing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where, like, do I hop on a few skits with people and do funny stuff, or do I take it serious? Love to do the comedy thing. The comedy thing's kind of funny, like, you know what I mean? I would love to just have a random appearance in something, you know what I mean? They're
Like Taxi Joe? Is this what you're angling?
Yes, at the Taxi Joe thing, yeah.
So what's he hinting at here?
The Taxi Joe thing, me and my mates have always talked about it. I was all like, you know, I says, I'm going to try and get now. You know what? I'm up here. I'm gonna
Yeah,
try and get in
absolutely. No, that'd be great. You know, and like we'll come up with something. We'll come up with something, and we'll do it definitely.
Like,
you know, and rap. I'll sit down and come up with ideas, but I think it could be good.
yeah, like even playing a wee mini character in the background, like,
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
love
yeah,
to
yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Because it's something that I've always wanted to do. Like,
So you just briefly touched on it. You see in your future just doing different things like acting and, you know, your clothing label and different things like that. But you're going to continue to record. So your aim's to record a 4th album then, isn't it?
yeah, 4th album, 12 songs. I would like this album to be the one that sends it off. You know what I mean? This one that kicks time.
See any of the people that's made it big or whatever, most of them, they've all been in the right place at the right time. Doesn't matter what space it is. And they've always had that wee bit of luck, you know. So it doesn't matter. Like the all-time greats in any genre have been in the right place at the right time. And the key to it is as long as you're enjoying it and keep getting better and doing good work, you'll get there. Like, but the key to what you're doing is you're very consistent with the output. You're putting an album out every year and you're 18.
I know.
That was like, when I was growing up, all my favorite bands and all, they were releasing albums every 3 years. You know, maybe the technology has speeded up the process a bit now.
Yeah.
But you know, I see a tremendous future for you. Thanks very much for coming in today.
Not a bar.
And you know, keep doing it. And it's a scene that is going to grow, and it's very innovative. And you know, you're a big pioneer in it. And just keep her lit. And as I said, thanks very much for coming in.
That's 100%.
Brilliant. And until next time, see you after.